Poles supported by sticks, waiting for the last wind that will completely bring them to the floor. This is the state of most electricity poles in Douala, economic capital of Cameroon, a city expected to carry generous power supply for the available population into economic activities for survival. We are at Lokbesu in the Douala 5 subdivision, where inhabitants say power cuts has been constant for years now, making life difficult for dealers in perishable goods and homes that have lost electrical appliances due to the on and off nature of electricity.
Je suis à Lokbesu depuis 8 ans. Le problème qui se pose maintenant, c'est la lumière qui nous dérange tous les jours.
I've been in Lokbesu for 8 years now. The problem we have is light issues every day. For some time now, there are days you can see your neighbor has electricity, but you don't have. We don't know what the problem is. We've been told it's a problem of transformer. The transformer is small to carry the population. That's the problem we have. Let the government help us, please.
Pour que nous puissions avoir la lumière presque tout le temps.
Par rapport à la situation de la lumière ici, il faut dire que on rencontre pas mal de difficultés.
Concerning the light issue, we are facing difficulties. Light goes off regularly, especially during Shan period. With all these power cuts, it is difficult for us to live because light is something important. We hope that the government will listen to our cries and try to do something for us because it is not going.
De faire quelque chose pour nous parce que vraiment ça ne va pas.
According to some inhabitants, attempts to get the electricity supply company has not been friendly. They are often ignored or at worst left to find solutions on their own, solutions which gets them into more trouble.
Concernant la lumière ici, Eneo, c'est beaucoup plus compliqué.
It's really complicated. Today, for example, I don't have light. I have fish and things in the fridge. Electricity comes and goes. When we call on a new agent, it's complicated due to the procedures. We are obliged to use local technicians around the quarters. When agents of a new finally arrive, it becomes another issue involving the police.
This lady says the situation gets worse at home when they have to spend nights outside due to the unbearable heat, insisting that lack of roads is another reason why development turns a blind eye towards the area. The cry is not only for constant electricity supply, but also favorable roads for accessibility. Poles fall here every day. There is no light, there is no road. We stay almost all night at the veranda. We can't go in due to heat. We need lights, we need roads.
We don't get roads.
Neighborhoods like Bonaberi, Koto, Bepanda, just to mention, but these are amongst neighborhoods facing similar issues. It is most likely for homes in these areas to go over a week without electricity or complaints of low voltage. All attempts to get the reasons for the inconsistency from the power distributors proved futile. Inhabitants are therefore calling for authorities that be to provide adequate solutions and fast to manage damages. Welcome dear brothers, welcome to you all. Bringing hearts together, Debt Behead Association during its outreach mission on Saturday, March 27, 2021, visited some internally displaced persons from both the northwest and southwest regions who have been residing in Bonamume in Bonaberi, Douala 4 municipality for a few years, bringing them COVID-19 kits, including wash hand buckets, face masks, soap, clothes, and food items. This activity is in line with BEHEAD's mission to step up the standards of living of this less privileged group of persons. Regina Etaka Esong is the executive director of BEHEAD.
So we've come here to offer them this gift to ameliorate their life. We've offered them dresses, some foodstuffs, shoes, and COVID-19 kits, because at the moment they have double burden. The fact that they have been displaced and the COVID-19 kits. So these things, I think, is going to help them to make them feel better and to protect them from the coronavirus that is spreading widely. Some of them, they told me that they have never received any government assistance this far. So our greatest plea is that the officials that be should come here and assist these people. They should come and see the horrible situation in which these people are living.
Speaking on behalf of the IDPs, Karen Ngwa highlighted the major difficulties and challenges they face while thanking BHET for the kind gesture.
The first thing is food. We lack food and we don't have drinking water in this place because we are here because the land here is very cheap. We are living here in people's huts. So we really need drinking water. With coronavirus, we are very happy because only this mask that you people have brought this today like this. It will just the one when they use it, they wash it. People have done a lot, but they don't know.
Be Blessing G is an IDP kid residing in Bonamume.
It's about the school. It's not going there. Our parents does not have money to send us to school. So when the government is help us, send us to school, give us good drinking water and good toilet, make us feel comfortable in Bonamume.
It is worth noting that this vulnerable group now faces double burden, being an IDP and living under deplorable conditions and the COVID-19 pandemic they face, and now desperately look up to the intervention of other benefactors and the Cameroon government.
Il s'appelait Tenke Daniel, professeur de mathématiques et concepteur du monument du cinquantenaire du collège terrestre de Berthois. Décédé le 16 mars 2021 de suite des maladies, c'est cet illustre personnage que parents et amis, collègues des services et élèves sont venus rendre hommage à la cour de l'établissement où il a enseigné pendant plus de 15 ans. L'oraison funèbre prononcée par un collègue des services et le témoignage du président de la coopérative des élèves rappellent à suffisance la place qu'occupait le défunt dans le cœur des uns et des autres.
Car nous savons que tu étais un peu souffrant.
Le visage d'une foule nombreuse qui semblait être attachée au défunt. Après une messe solennelle à la cathédrale de la place, la dépouille prendra la route vers son champ natal, où il sera inhumé dans la terre de ses ancêtres. Il aura en tout vécu 60 ans de vie sur la terre et laisse une veuve éplorée et plusieurs enfants. Que la terre de nos ancêtres lui soit légère.
Les populations du Nord Cameroun, plus précisément Marois 2e, ont été victimes de démolitions de leurs lieux d'habitation par les autorités administratives de cette localité qui déclarent que ses habitants du quartier Oudé seraient bâtis sur la propriété de l'État. En effet, les autorités disent avoir déjà indemnisé le propriétaire du terrain, à savoir celui détenant le titre foncier, qui serait le Lamida de Marois, si l'on s'en tient à la signature apposée sur le certificat de vente de ces derniers. Il se pourrait que celui-ci aurait perçu une somme de 30 millions de francs CFA de l'État camerounais, mais n'aurait pas lui à son tour indemnisé les personnes à qui il aurait vendu le terrain, ceux qui de leur côté avaient manqué de titrer leur lotissement. Une situation triste, laissant plus d'une vingtaine de foyers dans la colère et à belle étoile.
Le terrain, c'est depuis 2011, chez le Lamido. J'ai payé ça. Donc, j'ai à construire, j'étais à location avec ma famille. Je suis venu construire 2 chambres, là, comme j'ai 2 femmes, avec mes enfants. Actuellement, je ne sais même pas là où je peux aller. Je ne sais même pas. Je vais me balader seulement avec ma famille.
Néanmoins, ceci arrive à cause de la construction d'une centrale photovoltaïque par Enio pour un renforcement de distribution du réseau électrique au Cameroun, sans oublier la construction de plusieurs bâtiments administratifs devant également y voir le jour. En dehors des problèmes sanitaires et nutritionnels, ces populations de Houdé devront à présent faire face aux problèmes de délocalisation.
In an extraordinary council session of the Benakuma Council in Menchum Valley subdivision of the Northwest region to examine and adopt the 2020 administrative and management account of the council, March 24, 2021 in the Benakuma Council Hall, the mayor of Benakuma Council, a Hebrew Solomon Kudi, said the current socio-political crisis frustrated efforts at executing projects in the municipality.
We still have some pockets of resistance left and right. But I think in my municipality, there are high hopes because for now, everybody is on the same page that reconstruction should come and that they will lend their own support to ensure that whatever projects that are earmarked for the municipality, they will go through successfully. There will be no hindrance. Nobody will disturb. We may have obstacles moving into the municipality, but once we are within the municipality, we will not have any difficulties.
In spite of the insecurity problem, the Benakuma Council was able to supply benches, chairs, as well as provide school materials to some schools in the municipality, assist farmers, and the provision of COVID-19 kits to some areas of the municipality whose negative effects are catastrophic.
All of us should work as ambassadors of goodwill for peace, and to also put an end to this the spread of this COVID-19 that has become a global health crisis, and it is threatening all the economies in the world. Even the biggest economy in the world, America, is suffering from the health crisis. I think we are not exempted. We, the municipality of Benakuma, I think we too, we need to do something to avert the consequences of the health crisis.
Benakuma Council, with over 93,667,180 francs CFA unused credit for 2020, Mayor Ihimbru Solomon Kudi requested a motion be moved for the imminent transfer of these credits into the 2021 accounting operation.
No one customer have come until I've closed. I come and stand here. There's nobody is coming.
A quiet business place with no one at close sight. Elsewhere, one can spot other businessmen sitting for most part of their day with little or no customers trooping into their shops. This has been the pace of business for most business persons in Buea, especially those dealing in electronics, welding, and cold store business, following the constant electricity blackouts experienced in most neighborhoods in Buea, chief town of the southwest region.
Most of the times we'll get something repaired today, the next day is bad. Because INEO, as we know, the sole supplier of electricity in Cameroon, keeps on failing us day after day. So at the end of the day, it's very, very acute.
To most businessmen, the routine power cut in most neighborhoods in Buea has made life difficult for them and their families. This is the case with this young father involved in welding and whose services require constant electricity supply but have stayed for the whole day without a customer due to the epileptic supply of electricity in most neighborhoods in Buea.
Things are normal. When there is no light, when you look like almost we do business like welding department. When there is no light, you cannot do anything. You always see like that. You see what other things are happening. Whether there is light coming on, there is no light coming, just sit. But if the light cannot come into 1 week time, that means have punishment in our own family. We cannot feed the family.
In order to stay in business, many, like this popular cold store center in Buea, have resorted to alternative sources of electricity supply, such as the use of generators, while others who can afford make use of solar energy.
We cannot run effectively without light. We have a big generator here now that if light goes off, switch to the generator. At first, we used to suffer a lot when there is no light. Maybe we'll be forced to close the fridges. Maybe we'll be forced to sit and...
While the constant power failure has prompted both businessmen and inhabitants of Buea to devise alternative sources of light, such as the use of candles, lamps, rechargeable bulbs, generators, to cyber these at their business centers and homes, they are calling on local authorities to look into this worrying situation that has become the order of the day, especially as the country strives towards being an emerging nation by 2035.
With the coming of decentralization and transfer of local development to councils in Cameroon, the Douala 5 Council is leaving no stone unturned. With its slogan La Ville Nouvelle, literally translated as the new city, the council and other councils in Douala and the southwest region of Cameroon is embarking on a giant developmental project in the domain of housing. The project involves the construction of 10,500 low-cost housing and related infrastructures.
Ce qu'il faut savoir, c'est que d'abord, le slogan de Douala 5e, c'est la ville nouvelle.
What you have to know, first of all, is that the slogan of Douala 5 is
la ville nouvelle, and we became a kind of giant project avec close to 1,000 billion francs
de presque 1000 milliards.
And that is exactly what we are doing to serve the population of Douala 5.
A meeting to fine-tune and see how the project can be advanced took place today in Douala, bringing together mayors of Dibombari, Tiko, Douala 5 and Boya.
Under the law of December 2019 dealing with decentralization, the government thought it wise to permit councils to get into partnerships, and the development of our local communities have been transferred to us. So my colleague of Douala 5 had an initiative and got in touch with some financiers, precisely a Swiss holding financial group, and they are ready to finance projects. So we are here to fine-tune and see how we are going to progress. It's true that they've already identified one part of it, which is the financing of low-cost housing and houses of different standards. So which will be spread through Douala 5, Dibombari, Tiko, and Boya. So we are working on that. We have not arrived at the final part of it. We are here for that and for many other projects that are going to come up. Good enough, they have a team of experts that they are ready to work with, and they have told us we can do our projects and come directly. So I came to be briefed. We had started talking before today, and then I'll take this back to my council, and if it is approved, then we'll move ahead.
The project to be spread in the towns of Boya, Tiku, Dibombari and Douala.
The motivation is coming here to do all the projects, to finalize and finance the project.
The project is estimated at 1,000 billion francs CFA and is being entirely financed by the Swiss holding financial group, Persia Holding Group.
Tomato, an important African kitchen staple enjoyed by most denizens of Boya Southwest region of Cameroon, has experienced a hike in its price this month of March as compared to December, the festive period. A basket of tomato that was initially bought at a wholesale price of 2,000 francs CFA per basket to be sold at 2,500 francs is now bought at 7,000 francs CFA per basket to be retailed at 7,500 francs. You can get a basket of tomatoes for 2,500 francs CFA. A basket has increased to 7,500 francs, and we even sell and don't realize any profit because most customers complain. According to these traders at the Great Supermarket in Boya, who trade in both wholesale and retail, tomatoes are likely to remain inflated for the next 3 months due to the change in the farming season, as the tomatoes sold now in the market are bought out of the Southwest region. We are buying from Baminda. Boya tomato farmers are still nursing. That is what accounts for the increase in price. The price increase is likely to last for close to 3 months. Also, enjoying fresh tomato sauce in a family house has become a luxury for average families, as few housewives can cope with the price increase. Buying 8 tomatoes for 500 francs to feed a family home of 9 persons is impossible. If I have to cook tomato sauce, I have to spend at least 1,500 francs CFA before adding tin tomato to make a heavy dish for my family. On a typical busy market day like the Great Supermarket, very few tomato traders were spotted at press hour to display their limited stock for consumers to buy, an indication of the scarcity of tomato in the market.
Grand Councillors of the Bamenda City Council yesterday, March 31st, 2021, at the Pakuvita Hall, Bamenda, deliberate on the well-being of city dwellers in the domain of electricity, water, roads, hygiene and sanitation, as well as the transportation sector of the city, given motorbikes had begun resurfacing on the highways after the city council restricted motorbikes on city dwellers in some parts of the city area. Bamenda City Mayor Paul Achomong said,
"They did respect that measure, and gradually, like every law, whenever you pass it, you enforce it, and you relax a bit, the people abuse the relaxation. But I can assure you that we've actually observed that the purpose for which that act was passed, that restriction order was passed, was actually necessary. It was really necessary. And at that time, there was actually a drop in the crime wave.
Electricity and water being one of the major problems inhabitants go through within the city of Abakwa on daily basis, the city mayor assured the population
in our wing is not going because of insecurity, and therefore the contractors had to leave. Nevertheless, I have had some catchments. Some of them are springs and they are streams, which we're going to exploit, study, and build some reservoirs where we can catch from these springs and tap into these reservoirs and see how we can ameliorate the water crisis in Bamenda.
Bamenda City Mayor Paul Achumbong, with the Grand Councillors, reiterated on the vision of development which the City Council had engaged on road works, though with heavy rains at corner.
We have on this road project, we have about close to 50 equipments. So I can't count that as low. And the works are going on a daily basis. And I see the people really making progress, seriously. We're actually at the preliminary stage. And I think that we're moving fast so that the roads will be passable even when the rains become serious.
Given gunmen attacked workers on the ongoing project of roads, the Mezam SDO, Simo Emil, called on the Grand Councillors to ensure they sensitize the population to accompany the City Council in the developmental projects ongoing within the city, and equally reiterated on barrier measures to ensure curb the COVID-19 pandemic, which is on the rise within the municipality.
Leaders of some 7 opposition political parties met in Yaoundé April 1, 2021 in a bid to press for electoral reforms. The move by these political party leaders has been appreciated by some, while others have questioned the agenda for their coming together.
We are not pessimistic about the issue of opposition to come together, but we question the reasons of coming together, and then the personalities that are coming together and the agenda of coming together. According to Fabrice Lena, Secretary General of the Popular Action Party, moves by opposition leaders should be geared towards discussing possible solutions to the Anglophone crisis. We strongly believe that the country is in total chaos now, and any common action should be around discussing the question of the Anglophone crisis, which has to do with the problem of the form of state. You know, we differ in the point of view of the reason or objective or goal of the coming together of opposition, in the point where we want to reform the electoral code and perhaps electoral body when the country's form of state, when the country's machinations, arms of government are still having the status quo of election malpractices and the people are still appointed. Involved in the working group of April 1, 2021, were Professor Maurice Kamto of the CRM, Honorable Cabral Libi of PCRN, Pierre Kwemo of UMM, Tomai Nondamjoy of CDU, Prince Ekoso of USDP, and Honorable Joshua Osi of the Social Democratic Front political party. According to these 7 party leaders, the platform is aimed at establishing a new or amended electoral code to guarantee free and fair election in the country. The meeting by opposition political figures that was interrupted at some point by the divisional officer for Yaoundé 1 is the first since the 2018 presidential election.
Family, friends, well-wishers and sympathizers assembled at the Kumba District Hospital mortuary to accompany the parents of little Ngum Angel, accord her a befitting burial. The little girl met her demise on Thursday, March 25, 2021 at the Kosala neighborhood in Kumba 2 subdivision, where she tried to crack a coconut on a stone behind her house, not knowing that beneath lay a locally made bomb which exploded, cutting her hands and destroying her face. She was immediately rushed to the Mutengene hospital for medical care, where she unfortunately lost her life. Thursday, 1st April 2021 was indeed a sorrowful day for the people of Kumba who took part in the funeral of Ngum Angel. To her grandfather, Angel's death is a huge loss to the family.
Death na a call concern to each and every one. So man enough he change him. We only thank God, say as God he don't take in, I know how he will place make keep it fine. Because already it don't already be a great loss inside this family.
The divisional officer for Kumba 2 was present at the funeral and had this to say.
Now just last week we this young Pekin we were there for a burial. The Pekin be there behind their house. It try for crack palm kernels for small stone them near their house. With this artisanal explosive, it be explode and he wound the Pekin very seriously. Immediately we be informed. We rush to the scene. We struggle at our own level. The Pekin be referred for hospital for Mutengene, for big hospital for Mutengene. But unfortunately, the Pekin he died. And it be a very sad thing. So we'll continue for to bury the young children in this kind of a manner. Where is the future of this subdivision? Where is the future of Cameroon?
Ngum Angel, just like many other kids, women and men, are countless innocent victims of the ongoing conflict which has caused untold sufferings to the people of the northwest and southwest regions of Cameroon for over 4 years now.